All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Double Scoop podcast. I believe this is episode 5. Let's I'll check it out later, but I think this is episode 5. Anyway, yeah, this is episode 5. I had a couple things that I saw that I wanted to talk about. Literally just kind of got on here and started poking around. I was supposed to do this on Friday. I usually try to do them on Thursday or Friday, and like I tell myself, I was like, I'll do them on Thursday, and I don't, and then Friday rolls around, and I don't necessarily find the time to do it. I think I should probably cut out time to do it, so I'm not running into the end of Monday trying to get it done. But regardless, here it is. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the new Dave Mustaine thing because I saw something about this earlier this week. There is something from Royal Blood. I like some of their stuff, but it looks like they acted like some straight b-holes on stage. I just happened to see that one earlier the week too. The rest of the stuff I just kind of grabbed after poking around. Some stuff I read and saw that I don't really think I can comment on just because I don't know. Like I could just read the news and that would be super helpful for everybody. But and then I wanted to talk about some of the AI stuff that I've seen because it's everywhere and I think everybody's been made aware of it to the point where people are getting in and using it. So it's getting even richer, I guess, because it's really just taking content and repurposing it to the, most specific instance. And the more that it gets, I guess the more specific it gets, or maybe the more off base it gets because AI is now aware of AI. So it's like that is being incorporated into the inputs of the AI. I don't know. Anyway, we almost went on a spiral there. We're going to talk about Dave Mustaine's new Flying V. Well, new old Flying V. It's the Epiphone, and it says there's a Kramer version, which is pretty cool. All these are owned. Like Gibson bought Kramer, I think. I think that's who officially owns it. And they've been kind of bringing it back. Like I've seen a lot more Kramer the past 3 years, maybe just the past 2. Wait a minute. There's that Brazilian YouTube guitar player that plays that Kramer Flying V, and I feel like he has been popular for a while because I think he's got a guitar with Kramer now. I can't remember his name. I would probably butcher it anyway if I did. But yeah, I think that him getting a Kramer model is pretty cool, and this is like the alternate version of this one. This is like the classic with the string through, and this one has like the points and the bevel. So it's just like that. It's like the Dean version and then the Gibson version that they put out, and they're, kind of covering the full spectrum of Dave Mustaine guitars that are Flying V's that he's put out. Oh, there's a black one. I didn't even. No, there's a black one. But yeah, they seem to have similar specs as far as just control layout. They probably wanted to keep it as close as they could between the two, working with the shape that they had. But it's got the string through. Looks like the same pickups as well. It's probably his. Is it his custom set? Thrash ride. Yeah. Those are his signatures. Oh, it's the Prophecy version. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's like the Epiphone line of modernized semi-classic kind of guitars. Like they have a Prophecy V. I think they have a Explorer V, but it's called the Futura. So I guess it just looks weird because it's 24 frets. And then same with the Les Paul, and I think there's an SG Prophecy. But those have been out for a while, and I think they just kind of lightly cycle them. I don't think they sell as well as just the classic. So But both of these are pretty modern. I mean, like I said, the Futera, or not the Futera, the Prophecy line is way more modern, and then these are, the more modern. It would be cool if they would do. Oh, so it's a bigger scale length. Okay. It would be cool if they would take that Dean double neck that Dave Mustaine did, and it was like a 12 string and a 6 string, but it was a V, so just like a big M. Maybe he knew that. Maybe that was all planned by him. He's like, I want the guitar to be a big M for Mustaine, and I'm just going to put 2 flying V's together. Anyway, they're a little bit more of a premium. It's kind of crazy that they're fetching that much for. I mean, these are. I know I'd listened to the Know Your Gear guy, Phil, and he said, or Philip, he says that. I know it's Phil, right? I don't know. But he says that the country of origin matters so much less than it used to. And there's some stuff that's still kind of churned out not super great. Like, I think I don't know, now everybody likes the older stuff that came out in the mid-2000s, but I think like the mid to late 2000s, so like maybe 2007 or 8, all the way up until like the early teens, like the 12 and 13, I think all of those like Chinese-made Epiphones aren't super great. I remember playing so many in and out of a Guitar Center or a Bailey Brothers, and they just weren't all the way there. And I feel like there's been so many, like, so much progress has been made in guitar manufacturing, and it's almost like the bar of entry for it has just gotten lower, with CNC machines becoming cheaper and more accessible, and not these huge gargantuan things that you build a warehouse around. And so the quality of the ones that are huge and you build a warehouse around it, the quality of those has gone up. And they've built new machines, they've built new factories, and the quality of those overseas guitars has just gotten so much better. And it's like they're the ones supplying all of the world with most of their guitars that aren't made one by one, or artisan guitars, and they have to step up their quality because they're the main builders of these guitars, and if everybody's not going to accept the crappy quality of a mass-produced guitar. Sure, there are some out there that are super crappy and then just are not finished and are shipped out, but there's some that just a routine guitar that comes off the factory floor is a lot better than it used to be. And I'm just really regurgitating all the stuff that he says because he's a huge proponent of overseas made guitars and how well the process has gotten, or how good the process has gotten and how well they're made at this point. All that to say, this is this is a lot for a Chinese made, I think. I mean, if that's the whole point, it's rolling off the same line as some of these other guitars that are half this price. Granted, not as something very special and stylized like this, so that does add a premium. But I mean, it's kind of expensive. Anyway, they do look sweet, and we kind of spun out there on where guitars are made, but it is cool to see more Kramers. The Prophecy V looks pretty sweet. I wonder if the jack is angled, because I played it's not Silver Burst, it's like Yellow Burst or whatever, Prophecy, probably a year ago, and it was just a straight jack, and it just poked into my leg, and I was like, wow, am I only allowed to play this standing up? So it played pretty good, but it wasn't comfortable to sit there with. So all right, we spent a lot of time talking about Dave Mustaine and his Flying V's. I'm not going to put this in the newsletter, so I'll just go over it here. Usually when there's a series of guitars released, it's hard to put in the newsletter because I don't want the newsletter to be super long. Like, I want it to be, you read it in 2 minutes, you saw the 3 or 4 things that I poked out, you kind of paid attention to the price, you saw the mod shop pick, you had a good time, and you were out. Like, I don't want to make it so egregiously long, like, and here's this guitar, and it's like, clearly that form doesn't work because he didn't even put them all in here. Anyway, just the Paranormal series is them taking a body style and kind of riffing on it a little bit, like with this Telecaster, Stratocaster. It's got the Telecaster layout, and then it's got the Stratocaster look to it. It does have binding, so that's kind of cool. That makes it look more like a Telecaster Deluxe, and it's still which means is this a carved top? Wish I could see that at an angle, because a flat top Stratocaster would be a little weird, right? But I mean, I guess the bottom of this is kind of a Telecaster. I don't know what's going on. These guitars hurt my brain. This looks cool. This looks like a half of a 72. I'm wondering what that switch is doing right there. Oh, it just taps it. Okay, humbucking and single coils, and a third mode that bypasses the volume and the tone. Huh. Oh, it comes in mocha. That's cool. Yeah, the very 70s mocha. This is apparently the big deal. Is this Jaguar 12-string or Jazzmaster 12-string? Wow, it's right here. I should just read the article instead of just guessing. So it's got it says single coils? It's the Jazzmaster single coils. So there's not P90s. But it looks pretty cool. It's got that big paddle headstock for the 12-string. I've never seen a 12-string Jazzmaster. And then we have this, what are these called? Is it in here? Stratasonic. That's not the word I was looking for. There's a word for these, like, half pick guard Telecasters. Granted, this isn't a Telecaster, this is something totally different, but that's what it reminds me of. This is cool. Oh, it is a short scale. Look at the little bass. That's fun. That's actually pretty sweet. I want to know more. It sends me away. I'm not in the market for a bass, but I'm not in the market for a bass. And that bass looks super cute. Like, let's get a cute little bass. It's called the Rascal. It's just that is awesome. See, Sherwood green or black. That's so fun. I wonder what it sounds like. I wonder if it, like, scaling it down takes away some of the gusto that basses have. Because I mean, that's fun, and I feel like this might be like something they don't do again, right? Like I would feel good about buying it because I'm like, oh, this will be worth so much in the future when they did this one thing for a Squire series. No, okay, it's literally for children. Dang it. Okay, I mean, that's still cool. I have a kid. Maybe she'll play bass. How will I know if she doesn't have a bass to play? So we'll come back on that one. It's fun. I'm gonna show it to Ken. I'll tell her it's cute. She'll love it. Okay. I didn't read this article. I just grabbed it because of the headline. Anyway, those are the new Paranormal. Sorry, I didn't recap. It's like every single chunk of topic. I just spiral, and then I'm looking at cute short scale basses. Yeah, this is. I mean, there's obviously more than what's in here. It says there's 12 of them, right? It says series. Oh no, I'm just thinking 12 here. It says series. I don't know how many are in the series, but you know, a couple alternate colors. Anyway, Gene Simmons says Kiss is gonna stop. They're done. This is probably the 4th or 5th time. It says currently the End of the Road World Tour. They're playing at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Last show ever. Gene Simmons is just a character. I guess you gotta be. I mean, if you're gonna play bass for, you know, one of the biggest rock bands, you gotta be a character. I mean, they're obviously all characters because they dress up, and he had, I don't want to say tongue surgery, but that's like the only thing I can think of that sounds right, to make his tongue bigger, longer. That's just weird to do that. I'm not sure why you would do that. Anyway, sorry, I was checking my stream settings, making sure everything looked good. I know I'm streaming. I'm assuming that the microphone is working as intended. and I'm not just mousing around on screens without any sort of audio context. I'm not sure why I put this in here other than just to acknowledge that Kiss may actually finally be done. I mean, I grew up listening to Kiss, and Destroyer is the album, right? Where they're all, it's like them all on the front. But it's got a lot of the more popular songs. But I always like Strutter. I know my dad would play Kiss in the car growing up, and I always thought that song was awesome. Had a killer riff and a good guitar solo. And that goes into this Royal Blood thing that I saw earlier this week. I watched the clip, and he's just like I guess the crowd isn't into it, and he's just giving them crap for it. And I feel like, are you that full of yourself that you... I mean, I guess, yeah, it's like, I'm a rock star, like that stereotypical, rock star. But I feel like that idea, like Gene Simmons has that same kind of idea and understanding of himself, and they're almost done, right? Like that's a kind of an older way of thinking, I think, of yourself and of your persona and perception outwardly, because like, what good comes from this? Like I say, you play the set and you leave and you don't say anything. Maybe you say something later, or I don't know, but I feel like this is just like a tantrum instead of any sort of positive thing that you can, just being a turd to the crowd that you're playing in front of, who it says it's a big radio weekend. I don't even know who Louis Capaldi is, but doesn't look like in the same genre as Royal Blood. So maybe, hey, you guys aren't the headliner. They're not necessarily there to see you. So maybe you just pull back a little bit, because you just look like kind of big turds doing something like this. So I think if, you're just playing a radio festival, like it's not about you. But who knows, maybe we'll see them on their third end of the road world tour in the next 30 years, where they're still just trying to get 9 people to clap for them. Anyway, that one probably wasn't worth going over, but I didn't see so much to go over. But, onward and upward. This was pretty cool. I watched this upstairs and wanted to toss it in. I'm not going to play it, but I'll put it in the show notes. I think this is one of the Instagram videos that I watched. And it's cool. It's like what he's got, the thing that he's got going on for the double whammy with the upbeat music. All that works really well. It sounded really good. And there's a couple of different clips on there of him playing his weird looking Stratocaster. Like, what is going on here? I'm like, is that electrical tape that he drew on, or is it painted like that? Because this looks like very DIY. This doesn't look like maybe he paid somebody to do that. This kind of does, but his homie just got a Cricut and is going crazy or something. I'm just not sure what's going on there on his like, that seems like a Tom Morello kind of vibe, where you write something on your guitar and then try to relate it to something in some sort of way. But yeah, also the mismatched sneakers, nice touch. I think this is the pink is for octave down and black is for octave up, I think. This was just cool. While she sleeps, yeah, I think they're like a hardcore band, so I think it's interesting that the music that they're a hardcore band. They're a metalcore band, right? can't genre confuse here. So, but I mean, this music is like very upbeat and poppy, kind of what he's playing with the whammy. So, it's kind of a different take than what you usually hear from metalcore. Make sure I don't mess that up. Okay. I want to do the AI thing last. This was really cool, but I'll talk about it in a minute. I wanted to talk about these stupid Bluetooth boxes. So I saw this and I wasn't going to talk about it because it's just whatever. And then I saw this one on Music Radar and I was like, what is going on? Apparently this one came out at NAMM. There's already the Marshall one. And that makes sense. Yeah, there's the Marshall one actually sells pretty good. And I think maybe Fender and Orange are recognizing that at this point, or Bluetooth speakers. It's probably this. Bluetooth speakers have just gotten so cheap to manufacture as they've progressed. Like the same thing with the CNC machines. Stuff just gets better. The manufacturing of it just gets better, easier, and cheaper. And now there's probably just enough brand image with Orange for them to, pay. I don't know where this is made, but I'm going to assume it's made in China. I doubt that they're like boutique hand wiring these Bluetooth speakers, in their shop on the same quality craftsmanship and attention to detail that, let's check out the Box L, that they put in their regular amplifiers. I'm sure that's, it says it's hi-fi, which I think high fidelity, is that what that stands for? I might be wrong. I just know that that's like, hi-fi is like good audio equipment. That's all I know. Oh, there's a black one. That's cool. How big is this thing? I clicked on the L because, okay, is that actually the size? I'm glad we have a sriracha bottle for scale. I mean, but look at it next to those paper towels. I'm gonna need a better scale here because the sriracha bottle is too close, and the paper towel thing is either too far away or the speaker is actually massive. But then you have this mayonnaise jar, or maybe that's ranch. I don't know. Also, who eats with... Where do they get this stock footage? That they just slapped the orange thing in the background? Because it's the only thing that... Or did they take this photo? If they staged this, who puts the silverware right in front of them when they're trying to eat? Anyway, I have no idea how big it is. Tell me how big it is. The one photo that you used, wasn't it? I can't tell how big it is. Just a picture with a ruler on the side of it would be pretty sweet. Oh, here we go. Just needed to scroll a little bit further down. It's okay. It's a foot, 7. Okay. So I think that looks bigger in space. I don't think that's right. But it says it's got high frequency drivers. It's got actual Tolex on it. That's cool. I didn't know if they would actually put, like do all the real amplifier appointments. I guess that makes sense. It's got to be made in China. And they're just trying to coast off their name. Because that's what apparently Marshall was doing. I think that actually, maybe they teamed up with somebody. Oh, did I click on some headphones? Oh, Orange has headphones too. If you wanted to slap those on. Yeah, this feels like just them branching into, I guess, quality audio equipment with their name on it. Same thing here with Fender. It makes more sense to Fender to do it. I do feel like they just have a stronger brand with making guitars and amplifiers. Oh, this is from April. Okay. So yeah, this came out NAMM or just prior to NAMM. But I mean, one of my friends bought a Bluetooth speaker like a week ago. So people are still buying them, and I think they do kind of, if you buy a cheaper one on Amazon or whatever, it goes out then. Because I swear they were just such an easy $20 gift for years. So I feel like I've been gifted at least 3. I feel like everybody has one. So that's also, I think, a point is just everybody already kind of has a Bluetooth speaker that they like and probably don't want to go shell. How much is this one? $345 for a Bluetooth speaker. That's insane. That's actually kind of insane. What's the I/O on here? It has an aux and Bluetooth 5. Okay, yeah. Okay, it has an aux and Bluetooth. That's it. Can it be paired with other ones? Oh, they're backing it up until 2030. Okay, so they're saying this is an investment because it's going to go up in price, right? That's insane for $345. I have just a wedge Bluetooth no name. I think it's called the Angle, and it's on Amazon. It's $30 something, and I've taken it to the beach several times. It's gotten kind of wet. I don't think it's been submerged or dropped or anything like that, but it's hanging out, and it was $40, $30. That's 10 times the price, and it's big, and you have to lug it around. Because isn't that kind of the point? I mean, maybe some people just put their Bluetooth speakers down and never pick them back up. So sometimes maybe that happens, but yeah, I just thought. I didn't know the price. That's kind of nuts. Yeah, I just wanted to bring those up. I just thought it was, like I said, I wasn't going to talk about the one here. Oh, you can get a carrying case. Also, it says it's the pound. I was wondering why the price was higher. Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about it, but then I saw the Fender one. And that was kind of the last thing that I saw that was... I looked at this, the Humboldt, the DSM and Humboldt Simplifier MK2. This looks awesome. It sounds better. I watched Anderton's video on them comparing the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. This one sounds awesome. Like, so much so that I want to get rid of my current Nuxt Amp Academy, because I use one setting on there because it's so hard to mess with. I've got one good setting, and that's all I do, and then I just color everything else with pedals. So I've been wanting to replace that, because that's all that is. It's just the one, well, it's got variations, but it's just a very simple, everything's on the pedal that you change. You don't have to hook it up to your computer and watch the software crash 10 times so you can add reverb to your effects chain. And that's done real salty. Alright, so this was linked from guitar.com, and I have seen similar stuff. I haven't seen them do album artwork, but I've seen them do memes, which is funny that I saw the memes first. But yeah, they do memes and other like semi-famous photography, and they expand it. They use, I think Photoshop is the one. It has like a generative thing where it kind of thinks about the context and then, or it just generates context around it based off the main image. So this is the input, and then it builds everything else around it. And I think it's funny because there's a Yellow Submarine in this one, because this is just, iconic Beatles, and that's one of their more popular songs. And I'm sure there's some other stuff. Know nothing about the Beatles, but I think that the AI just associated this with them so much that it threw it in here. I don't know about any of the rest of this. That could have some sort of significance, or it could just be that's it, just pooped it in there, and nobody knows if it has any sort of reference to anything. This one I thought was so funny. It's the Teenage Dream cover from Katy Perry, and she's just on a cat, even though she's on a cloud in I guess the actual, like, that's what the album art is. They're like, nope, it's a cat. I thought that one was super funny. The Clash, London Calling. This one's weird that it's clearly him on stage smashing a guitar, and they're like, actually, he's in the street, and there's a cat, because there's a cat. This is what AI does, puts cats on stuff, which honestly makes sense. There's been a lot of cats posted on the internet. I wonder if a cat is the most posted animal on the internet. It would make sense. Like if a giraffe was one, maybe there's a giraffe in this photo, but I bet it's a cat, or I bet it's cats, and that's why there's a cat in this photo. All right, moving on. This is David Bowie. This kind of put him in a little spaceship kind of thing, which makes sense. He looks like he belongs on a spaceship. This one checks for sure. Like there's no left turn like you got here. It's he's just in a cryo chamber. David Bowie. I don't know if this is the original one. I think this is an edited one because there's one up here where it doesn't have the alien in it. Unless it's... Oh, here's him doing the video of it. Okay, it does put the alien in. Or is he messing with it? I wonder if he can, like, generate it and then regenerate it and then regenerate. I wonder how many times he can put the same input in, or if that's how long it takes to build, is the 12 seconds. Anyway, I thought this one was kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm sure I know one or two of the songs off this album, but it's interesting that it's like, and there's actually a whole black hole, I guess. I guess maybe it takes context from, because I think this does say black holes. Yeah, in Revelation. So I wonder if it takes the actual word context too and mixes it in with the AI. I don't know. I don't know how it works. This one was funny. Just, it's a cake. I don't know why it's a cake. And why it's like, here's the sunset, and these are all clearly, crosses for grave markers. And they're like, no, it's a cake. You thought it's a cake. It's a raspberry cake, apparently. But this one was super funny. Loved that one. I think that was it. Yeah, that's the only ones he posted. There was one more for the Nirvana Nevermind album, but I didn't want to show that. Plus, it's just more of the pool, I think, is all I saw. I did want to... There's been a whole lot of, like, AI in the music industry, kind of talk from, like, creating music. And I think that will kind of sort itself out. I feel like it relates to we'll just do a full circle here, but it relates to guitar manufacturing, where it's like, it's mass produced, it's acceptable, and it's gotten a little bit better. Like if you had, we wouldn't have the AI music that we have if we didn't have the tools of recording and music production that we have now. Like I think that's all just kind of synced up, and I think it just is the same thing with how all of the technology catching up to making guitars has gotten good. And it's like, yeah, there's a baseline and you can make good AI music, but I think music made by people is still gonna have way more inherent value than music made by AI or some people generating it up. I do think it's going to I do think it's going to help people that just need, like the people that are going to get stuff from the stock photography of AI. Like, hey, I need a guy sitting in a truck, eating pistachios and drinking a Pepsi. And like, and you get it. I think that's going to happen for AI music, for people that just need some music. Like they don't want to go search through a whole library to pick out some like they're gonna, they don't want to pick out some stock music. They're just gonna be like, jazz, lo-fi, piano. Sure, I mean you could probably just type that into YouTube and be just fine, but I think it's gonna be to where it's open, and maybe you pay a subscription or whatever, however that shakes out, but it's royalty free because it's just made by made by computers. It has no rhyme or reason. And I wonder if there's going to be just AI music that's just spot on other real music because it's being generated from our real music. So it has a basis from which to create, and it's going to generate stuff that already exists and already sounds like other things. So I wonder if there's going to have to be some sort of signature or recognition put on AI music that is just being generated because it's going to sound like other music, and then there's going to be weird copyright stuff, related to that. But back to what I was saying, I think it's going to be the people that just need music to fill the void, or to get to a baseline from like a jumping off point, like generate me 4/4 drums with a matching bass line in the key of E minor, boop, and then it gives you like just a working platform, because that's kind of how AI works in like Notion. You just kind of tell it what you want and it poops out something and you edit the poop. Like that, I'm not sure how much of that is going to be frowned upon, because in a way you're just starting from a better version of baseline, like instead of and I don't know if that's going to be for most people are going to create music solely organically. I think these are for the people that are doing reviews of gear or just making quick albums to do only lead guitar work or only their primary instrument, and they can't play all these other instruments, and I can't play drums, so I'm stuck trying to figure it out in GarageBand. Or I could be like, hey, give me this, and it'll give me a bass line of something, or even maybe a nicer bass line of something, and then I edit that to where I kind of want it to go based off of what I was given. And I think that kind of AI is kind of good and helpful. Sure, it kind of, I was going to say it was going to put people out of a job, but I don't think it does. I think all of the, not made up instruments, but like the MIDI instruments and everything that already exist on a lot of computers and a lot of software, I think it's just going to be that, but just in use from a prompt that you give the AI. And I think that's going to help some people like on YouTube that make demos, or it's going to help people that have to put stock music into stuff, and they're just going to be able to go somewhere and type it in, and it's going to give them something to work from, or give them the entirety of the thing that they need, but it's very minor and very just not thought of. And I think it might even make some artists more honest, but it's also going to take those ones that are already as close to just AI generated music, where they're just like, hey, you're going to sing about this, and here's the chord progression, and here's how it's going to sound, and it's going to be, super sugary or super reverby and super just radio friendly, and it's going to get lots of plays, and they kind of have already figured that out. And I think AI might help them in more of a malicious way to just crank out more stuff, just more hits, because they can, like I said, just prompt it up and send it to the whatever AI music platform they're using, and just crank out whatever they want. And they might not even need to, I think you still need the persona. I wouldn't doubt that they come up with some way to fake a person and just like, hey, this is new AI pop star 01, and she's totally fake and has a fake Instagram, and Boston Dynamics built a new robot, and she goes out there and robot sings. That might be a thing, maybe not, but people are in a anime waifus or whatever that don't exist, and they're super into them and buy stuff that looks like them. All right, maybe that'll happen, but I think it's gonna, music that's still made by people and made passionately and with a little bit of mistake and grit and gusto is still gonna triumph. I will say there's probably gonna be popular AI generated radio hits. I think that's gonna be a thing, but I think it's still gonna be like people that are into music are still going to value the human-made music, and it's not going to be as much of a disruption. It's not like, I mean, I know there was like that Oasis album where it was like copied, and it was, I don't know, it was close. I didn't listen to it, and I don't know, but like those 3 Oasis songs. But I mean, you still know it's not them. It's not like they're going to come out and say, hey, yeah, this AI album was totally us. They're not going to do that because they're, owners of their craft, and whenever it's not like it's going to make a less Oasis fans, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, they're not going to, there's not going to be any value taken away from them because people are fans of them, and only they can create their music without somebody just denoting that. All they have to do is like, hey, we didn't write that. That's AI. And everybody's like, oh, okay, well, that was, I guess I'll return my vinyl that I had pressed. I mean, I think it's still going to be authentic people making authentic music that authentic people are into. That's what I think it's going to be. There might be something that I'm totally missing. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about on AI, I guess. I don't know how to really wrap this up. Anything. Mini bass. Wrapping it up right here. This bass is super sweet. This Sherwood Green double humbucker 4-string short scale bass. That's cool. Oh, it's not available. What? When does it become available? Maybe I should have read the rest of the article. I need mini bass in my life. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up there. Wrapping it up with mini bass. Clicked on the wrong thing. Anyway. Thanks for hanging out. Be sure to subscribe to the newsletter. Should be in the description. Check out the website. I have an in-person event for the Knob Shop next week. Kind of outside of my comfort zone, but we will see how that goes. Should be fun. Also, we'll get to scope out where we're going to play our cover set in August. Really looking forward to that. And I think that's it. Yeah. There might be a new pedal coming out, maybe. I don't know. I built a Klon buffer. That was fun. I did finish building my harmonic percolator. It did not sound how I kind of envisioned and intended, I guess. I built a JFET buffer on it. I had this whole configuration in my head that I was going to do, and it just didn't kind of work out. I tried troubleshooting it with some help of Discord. Just didn't go how I intended, but like I said earlier, onward and upward. We're figuring it out. But yeah, follow me on Instagram at the Knob Shop. There's also at Double Scoop News. Probably should get back on that one and post some stuff. It's just hard to, like I said, maintain that. But yeah, play some guitar, play loud, have some fun, learn some songs, subscribe to the newsletter. See you guys later.